Hey there, I'm Julie and today we're talking about Manduka's recycled foam blocks, a great prop for both beginner and experienced yogis. Our foam blocks are really lightweight, but they're also dense and supportive, much more so than other blocks on the market, and they feature this rounded edge that helps with comfort and support. If you don't currently use a block with your practice, I really suggest that you start thinking about it because it helps with alignment, it helps to deepen your stretches, prevent injury, and is also great for more restorative type of yoga classes like a yin yoga class. These blocks are made with 50% recycled foam and they come in a variety of solid colors, tri-colors, and then a close cousin to the recycled foam blocks is the unBLOK, featuring an ergonomically rounded edge that's a bit gentler on joints like wrists and backs. Practice on.
Live and Play, and today I want to show you our yoga straps and yoga blocks. We sell these as a set or separately. They're perfect for stretching, physical therapy, or any type of yoga. But let's go ahead and take a look at its features. The yoga straps are 8 feet long and 1.5 inches wide. They have 2 adjustable metal D-rings so that you can find a comfortable and secure fit for your stretches. The soft and stretch-resistant material allows you to really get in those deep stretches without irritating your skin. Our 2 yoga blocks are 3 by 6 by 9 inches and are made of high-density EVA foam. This material is moisture resistant to help keep bacteria away and will retain its shape for years of use. Thanks so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help.
Yoga blocks can be very useful in practicing your different postures in yoga, if you know how to use them. Hi, I'm Veronica with WatchMojo.com, and today yoga teacher Jen LaRock is giving us the 101 on yoga blocks.
Yoga blocks are basically rectangular blocks, either made out of foam or they're made out of cork or sometimes wood. They're blocks that you would place under the hands, depending on some cases underneath the feet, but more underneath the hands in order to give you space to either, if the leg is supposed to be straight, if it's not, and just to straighten it and to place the hand on it. Basically, it's a space creator.
How can this benefit your practice?
The benefit is more to be able to get into a pose comfortably that maybe you were struggling with a bit more because you couldn't get the hand to the floor, or you weren't able to kind of sit and stay there comfortably and breathe. It's something that helps you not to struggle so much.
Is this something that only beginners need to use?
More beginners will need it, but for somebody like me, for example, that has a very long torso, and if I need to get my hands to the floor, sometimes putting a block underneath that hand will give me space in order to touch the floor. Or if I need to put my hands to the earth, lift myself up, I can put the blocks underneath and it'll give me more of a push. So it's not necessarily always for beginners, it can really be for advanced students, and just because of how their body's made, it'll help them too.
If someone wants to buy their own blocks for their own practice at home, what do they need to look for?
There are some foam blocks that are made out of a really, really light foam. I would say stay away from those. There's some that are a bit of a heavier foam, so you can definitely do that. Some people are against wood blocks just because the fact that it's wood. I say, why not the foam? There's contraindications to that. So what I love about the wood blocks is that they can be heavy, but at the same time, sometimes too heavy to do certain things. So really understand why you're having the block. Is it that you want the block to be more stable underneath your hand? Or sometimes we actually do put the block between the shins to maybe like engage the legs, something like that. So maybe you want a lighter block for that. It really depends on what you're doing.
How many do you need for a practice?
Minimum 1, and it really depends on what postures you're doing. For example, if somebody's in a standing forward bend and they can't touch the floor, sometimes we put blocks underneath both hands, or there's a few poses that we might use it under both hands. But generally I say at least one and then sometimes two, and the teacher will normally tell you if you need one or two.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Oh, it was so great being here chatting with you again, of course.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Brayton and welcome to WatchMojo.com. And today our host Veronica and Jen LaRock are showing us how to use yoga blocks to help our daily practice.
Perfect example of using a block in standing poses is Trikonasana, which the beautiful Veronica will demonstrate now. So here, the block can be used in 3 different ways because it'll have 3 different levels to it. The first level is on the highest point, so all she does is just place the hand on the block and hug the legs to the midline, lengthen out the top of the head. Then you can readjust the block just down on the edge. So this is the place in the middle, this is the middle way. So after the hamstrings, the back of the leg is opened a bit more, you can turn the block down. And then the next level is to spin the block flat so that these different stages are a catalyst to eventually, over time, you don't need to rush it, bring the hand to the floor. This helps you be in the pose more comfortably without overstretching, without injuring. So it really does help give you space. What I'm going to show you now is a way that you can support and even use the block as helping you in a therapeutic kind of way when we have hyperextensions at the back of the legs, like Veronica and myself. So what Veronica is going to do is just inhale, lift the arms up, and then exhale, stretch the hips back and bring the hand to the floor. And so what you're going to do here is if I roll her pant leg up a bit, you're going to see that she hyperextends, she pushes the knee back, the back of the knee back. What I'm going to ask her to do is just bend the knee a little bit, and then I'm going to put the block, and now she can push the back of the leg into the block, and it stops her from hyperextending. So it basically gives her a trigger to, okay, don't move the knee back, don't straighten the leg too much. And then even here, if she were struggling to touch the floor, you could also put a second block underneath the hand, and then she's going to expand more, bring the shoulder back, and bring the throat back, and bring the head back, and stretch from the heart out through the fingertips. So this is another way, once again, that it can be used as a therapeutic, as a little bit more of a helper. So this is just an example of how a prop can give you length in another way, or rather space in another way. So what I'm going to do is Veronica's going to demo this pose first without the blocks, and then we'll notice the difference with the blocks. So she's just going to place her hands alongside her hips. And what I want her to do is push down into the floor and lift the hips and the feet even up off the floor. So she's going to try to do this. And see how she only gets her bum up and she can't get everything up. So sometimes this is not necessarily a strength issue. It can be, but rather it can be just that the torso can be too long and the hands to reach the floor, it just collapses everything, that it takes extra power to lift yourself up. So the blocks can be placed right at the hips once again, where the hands would normally be. And she can do it like this and lift up. Obviously easy for her. And then I know that for sure she can even do it this way, so you're just going to turn the block down and lift right up and hold, good, and then come back. So again, that's just another way that can give you space and make life a little bit easier in the yoga class, and that's it.
Hi, my name is Tanya Batts, and I'm a personal trainer with Gold's Gym. I want to talk to you about how to use yoga blocks. So if you just don't have a yoga blocks around, feel free to grab a shoebox out of your closet, just whatever you got. Yoga blocks are for people who really have not achieved that flexibility that they're really looking for, but the block is going to help out with their stability. I'm going to start with a simple forward fold. So I'm going to do it by the side. I got my yoga block right here. All I'm going to do is when people fold forward, usually when you start yoga, you got those tight hamstrings. This might be as far as you can go, but it just gives them a little comfort knowing, hey, there's something they can have their fingertips on. When they get a little more flexible, turn the box, and they're going a little bit lower until they don't even need the block at all. All right, so another thing is a triangle pose, which is a great pose, but it takes incredible flexibility to reach the floor. Legs are wide, like a triangle. Got my block in my hand, inhale, exhale, revolve. So I got that block right in front of that foot. So that's a great way just to hold your poses, but you've got, for people who are just kind of not flexible, kind of nervous, it's kind of nice to have their hand on something. And when they get a little more flexible, they can move the block and be able to touch the floor or maybe touch the ankle. But that's just a great way for somebody who's just starting out in yoga, just doesn't have that flexibility factor. Get you a yoga block or a shoebox or whatever you got around the house, and you're going to be doing great in yoga in no time.
For more details, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching the video. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.